Just last night, I was thinking about my last 2 months at Vertex. I was informed on August 13th that I had a month to find a new position in the organization, that my services were no longer needed in the innovation labs. And I was stunned at hearing that. And then subsequent to that, we got back together with HR after a month, and I hadn't gotten anything, and they told me that I would be dismissed if didn't find anything in another month. And I didn't realize that that was the condition of the first month. So the urgency with which I was searching for something else wasn't where it needed to be. But in any case, my stunned, overwhelmed Asperger's meltdown that I was basically experiencing for 60 straight days didn't fuel me, but it just made me numb. But during that time, there were two key activities that I performed faithfully for the organization, one of which was migrating the older products, RPG, COBOL, and C, helping those teams migrate their source code out of older source code repositories into GitHub. And I worked with those teams. They had a lot of habits, I guess is the best way to put it, on how they manage source code and how they built source code and all their file systems and what they use in their processes. And I did my best to work with them to allow them to maintain their processes more or less and get them to understand how the new source code repository worked, GitHub. I guess part of it was these were people that I'd known for years and years and felt obligated or felt like it was the right thing to do, just generically, to help them get to the new place where the company wanted them to be. But what was my motivation for being a good soldier after basically being betrayed by the organization? They're giving me an opportunity to find another position, but it felt like HR had told people not to hire me. There were positions that were available and people were excited to see that I was interested in them. But somehow they never went anywhere. People just go quiet on me. And maybe I needed to push more. I needed to sit in people's offices and say, hire me, hire me, hire me. But I'm autistic, so I don't know how to do that gracefully. I mean, either be totally annoying. Why would they want this kind of personality? Or I'm too soft touch and just trust that people will be there for me. But the other thing is that we had a what do they call it? It's like a brainstorming session now. What do they call them? Jams. The term's floating through my head. Anyway, basically, it's where a bunch of individuals come together for a day and they brainstorm an idea and then develop the idea and then present the idea, and then the ideas are ranked and rated, and you win a prize basically as a team. And I was brought into this activity basically under the premise that there were a bunch of individuals, or two individuals, who didn't have a team, so they wanted somebody to give them an opportunity to participate. So I was, volunteered to do it, but neither of them was a developer. So I brought in one of my interns from the innovation labs onto the team and went through our idea repository for the innovation labs and brought one of the ideas with me to the jam. The other persons that were there, one was a sales guy and the other was a tester. They didn't have anything that specifically that they wanted to do, so we fleshed out the idea that I'd gotten out of the Bright Ideas, I think it was called, the repository. And we ended up coming in third. And the team won a prize of $2,000 for this. So, which would be $500 a piece. But in my role as being technical director in the innovation labs, I felt that I was just doing my job. So what I did instead was I told them to give the $500 to the individual who'd put the idea in the Bright Ideas tool, a gentleman by the name of Brian Winter. And even though I'm being kicked out the door, $500, that's, a little bit of security anyway, but it didn't make sense to me to keep it. And I don't regret what I did at all. It's the right thing to do. Absolutely the right thing to do. But why? Why did I even say yes to participating in the jam? Why? Why did my idea get picked? I'm not valuable. I mean, 24 years working in so many different departments and so many different roles. I think it's some people that have been there as long or longer than me as having the same 1 or 2 years of experience over and over, whereas I worked on almost every product the company had in some capacity or another: marketing, development, architecture, project management, product development, ideation, strategy, consulting. I mean, why did the organization so casually toss me to the side? And the loss for me has been profound. That was 2019. This is 2023. And I'm still suffering. And I feel that the family that owned the company, the Westwells, they've done me grievous harm. And I'm still struggling to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I wish that when they went public, that they would recognize a person such as myself financially, awarded me stock at the public offering for free. I mean, not because, not stock options, but just awarded it to me because I built that company as much as anybody else. And a lot of people that had the same year experience over and over, a paycheck is appropriate. But what I did and the range that I had, how I acted out of role all of the time, practically my entire time at Vertex, I was playing multiple roles. And for the owners to say, I don't know what you did, it's just awful. Anyway, as you can see, 4 years later, I'm still not over it. See ya.